In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about being lost in translation, a superfluity of nuns, Dragon Ball Z, and a shot of vinegar in our discussion of Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult books, series, authors, and voice actors that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman.
Yay! Drew is here for a whole episode!
Yes!
Yay! Yay! Okay, standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just like to show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
Yay!
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 Second time's a charm.
It always is. Second, third, eighth. It's fine.
Sound edit.
It's fine. It's fine. You'll only know if you watch the video.
Never tell in the edit.
Never.
Unless, of course, you're watching the Patreon video.
Ooh, yes.
Hashtag be plugging.
Oh, I get the Patreon video and to be a part of it.
That's amazing. All you have to do is give us money.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yay.
It's amazing what we'll do for money.
Oh, don't say it like that. Jeez. Although I was walking around the house topless today, and Jacob was like, hey, I like your outfit. Is that how you're going to record today? Like, I just haven't put my shirt on yet.
No, that not for a Patreon video. If it was the Vampire Book Club one, then yes, because that's drumming up the Patrons. Duh. Anywho, that's not the relevant background information for Heartstopper Volume 4 now, is it, Amanda?
No, it's not. I found something really cute on geekdad.com, and there's one very important line that I really, really love, and I want to see if you two can pick out the line that I love. Okay. Having been writing YA novels where the protagonist doesn't fall in love and still gets a happy ending, I've certainly found it harder to craft a plot without including much romance. Heartstopper has been a breeze to plot in comparison to my novels, but it's been very important to me to show in my YA novels that platonic and familial love can be just as powerful and meaningful as romance. That's just something very close to my heart and is a part of everything I write. So what is it? What is it that we love?
Is it the platonic feelings?
Yay! Drew, you know us.
I could have sworn it was the smooching.
Yeah.
I swear it was
No.
the smooching.
I raise both to the table.
Oh. So this is the last one that's out right now, right?
Yes.
Allegedly, we have a release date for Volume 5.
I have tried to find a release date, but I couldn't find one. It was supposed to be the 2nd of February 2023, and she looks around at her bookshelves and goes,
Where is
not
this?
This is kind of why we planned this out the way we did, yeah? So we get finished with the 4th one, and then we can just move right on into the 5th one.
And look, there's those plans going out the window.
plans.
Ah.
Well, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but it's apparently coming up. I want to say it was on like Book Depository or like a similar website. It's meant to be like the 9th of November now.
What?
So just the end of the year.
That's fine. That'll just give everyone a chance to listen to these episodes over again.
Exactly. And to be fair, like, I was fully expecting some sort of release information for the 2nd of Feb, because everything was saying the 2nd of Feb 2023, and there was nothing, and I'm like, there's surely some bookshop will do a special edition or a signed copy or something. Nothing. Oh, but we're doing hardbacks now, and it'll be starting to be released on the 2nd of Feb. So, you're like, ew.
Yeah, I kind of got closer and closer, and I was like, oh, haven't had any comic updates recently. It's get a bit closer. This is meant to, like, finish the story. So I had high hopes, but I wasn't holding up much hope.
I
Dashed on the rocks on the beach where they're having fish and chips.
It's a shame. I don't want to say out loud that I was hoping that it would be over soon. It's because I'm dead inside, everyone.
You're allowed to
I'm
not.
dead
You're allowed
inside.
to not enjoy them.
I'm dead inside.
You're allowed to not enjoy them, but you're also not allowed to just disparage them for random sakes. You've got to have reasons.
Everyone knows my reasons for not loving these books. They're too precious. I need gruesome. I need something terrible to happen. That's all I want.
Let's wait till we get to the recommendations, because
It's fine.
Let's dive into the
let's do
summary. Let's have a talk.
Yes, let's do it.
Conversation, communication.
And we'll process and talk about it.
We will, and you guys will squee and
we'll
turn into big piles of
probably
British.
translate. Yeah, I was going to say there's going to be some element of translation.
There is, and it's going to be fine. So maybe we should preface this with a trigger warning. It is excessively British. First off.
For anybody who's scared of British
I'm
people
terrified.
and British talking and no, the British are coming, the British are coming.
Oh, more seriously though, there are mentions of eating disorders and mental health and some self-harm. So if you don't want to hear us talking about that, feel free to skip this episode. We'll still love you if you do. All right, August 10th, Charlie's diary. Charlie is stressing about it being too soon to tell Nick that he loves him. They've only been going out for 4 months, but they've been to Paris. They're out to, like, the entire school, and Charlie shared his weird eating thing. What if Nick doesn't feel the same way? Charlie is nervously practicing saying I love you in his bedroom, so obviously big sister Tori and little brother Oliver are spying. Tori's advice is to just tell him, for, Tori is sage and wise, and Oliver adores Nick as a big brother already. Could it be that easy? It's either tell Nick tonight or wait until he's back from his family holiday in 3 weeks. It's entirely too long.
Who goes on a 3-week holiday?
Rich people.
Rich people. Yes.
Or to be rich people.
Oh.
Nick arrives soon to pick Charlie up for their beach trip, and Oliver is about to tell him Charlie loves him, but Charlie grabs him in time. That would be so
This is my
precious.
favorite
Luckily-
panel in the entire thing. So everyone remind me.
No!
Remind me to tell the story when we get to discussion. It's my favorite panel.
Luckily, Oliver is small enough to manhandle. It isn't just the two of them on the trip, however. Elle, Aled and Tao are in the car, with Elle's mum playing taxi, and Tara, Darcy and Sahar are meeting them at the beach. The Paris squad is back together. Settling into a good spot on the beach, Charlie can't stop ogling Nick. He's wearing a vest top, which is unusual, but then he takes it off and asks Charlie to put sunscreen on his back. Gulp. Charlie's imagination runs away with itself as he imagines telling Nick he loves him, but also being rejected. In reality, Charlie has turned into one huge blush as he rubs Nick's back. After, Nick encourages him to put some on too by giving him a sticky rose hug. Nick points out that Charlie seems stressed, but he brushes it off as being hot. Snogging Charlie's face off, Nick heads into the sea with some of the others.
Now, Elle, who hasn't gone into the water either, notices Charlie's reaction to Nick taking his top off. Yes, Charlie has seen his boyfriend with his shirt off at rugby, but this is an entirely different context. Elle also notes Charlie looks stressed, and he admits it is because he wants to tell Nick he loves him.
Ooh.
Ooh. But Elle points out Charlie is generally a stressed out person. She offers him snacks, which Charlie is reluctant to accept, but thankfully Tao and Aled come by then, so he's able to decline. In the panels, Charlie looks really sad, and Nick, who is watching him from the water, looks concerned.
As Nick is reclining in a donut floaty, he remembers a few weeks ago Googling about eating disorders and is really worried about Charlie. As they head to lunch, Sahar pulls Nick to one side and tells him she's nervous about starting school at Truham because she's going to be one of the few girls there. They agree to hang out, and Nick offers to introduce her to the nice rugby lads. When she asks if he's nervous, he admits he's been thinking about other things, and the panel shows Nick searching how to help someone with an eating disorder.
Piles of fish, chips and sausages are brought to their picnic, and whilst everyone tucks in, Charlie idly picks at food. Nick checks on him and forms a plan. He's getting up and cuddles Charlie from behind, offering to go somewhere else for him to eat. Charlie declines and says he just can't today, so when Elle brings out a dish made by her mom, Nick declines on their behalf.
As they're walking along the beach huts, Tal praises Elle's mum's falafels. They talk about families. Elle hasn't been to Egypt to see her grandparents since she was 11 because it's not safe to be trans there. Darcy offers to be a replacement grandparent as she's great at making cookies and is extremely wise. Plus, she doesn't get along with her own homophobic family, so her friends are her family. And Nick admits he's not sure how his dad will react, but at least he's got his friends.
Oh. Yay! Found family, our fave.
Best trope.
Back on the waterfront, Nick persuades Charlie to go into the water. They mess around and play for a while, going under and dunking. It obviously turns to kissing, and it's a beautiful moment. Is this the right moment for Charlie to tell Nick how he feels? He tries to, but Nick also has something he wants to say and goes first. To Charlie's disappointment, Nick doesn't confess his love, but says that he thinks Charlie has an eating disorder. Charlie thinks Nick is right, but doesn't know what to do, so Nick suggests talking to his parents. He's been doing research to help explain it to them.
Elle's mum picks them up from the beach and drops Charlie at Nick's house, where Charlie is able to eat comfortably. Nick is the one stressed this time. He's off to Menorca in 12 hours and can't find his goggles. Because he can feel sand in uncomfortable places, Nick heads into the shower. Charlie gets a text from his mom telling him to get home as it's past his curfew. Mom, it's so uncool. Knocking on the bathroom door, Charlie tells Nick he's heading home and also says, I love you!
What?
Wait.
What?
What?
It was terrible timing.
Well, it is. You can't say that while Nick is in the shower. And Nick has the same reaction, falls, scrambling out, puts some shorts on and a hoodie, and runs out the door chasing Charlie. Nick makes Charlie say it again, and Nick tells Charlie he loves him too. They are so freaking cute! Nick walks Charlie home. He's not wearing any shoes, by the way. When Charlie is home, Tori, who got a haircut, asks if Charlie managed to tell Nick, and yeah, he did. He's about to also mention their conversation about his eating disorder, but Charlie closes up instead.
The next day, Nick and Charlie are texting as Nick is on the way to the airport. Amongst the cuteness, Nick asks if Charlie is going to talk to his parents, and he says he'll try. Later that day, Charlie is working on some summer homework when his mum asks him to tidy up his room. But then Nick calls and Charlie talks to him instead. And even though the reception's terrible, Charlie's mum shouts at him to put the phone down just as the call fails. Charlie's mum then decides to have a little chat with him because she thinks Charlie is too young to have sex. And claims that him staying out late and wearing Nick's clothes are all obvious signs that's what they're doing. They're not.
They're not doing that.
Nope.
They're not. They're not doing that. The rant continues with her saying he needs to concentrate on his summer work and not let a school romance mess up other parts of his life, and to not run his whole world around his boyfriend. Rude. Charlie's dad steps in, saying she's being too harsh, and then the text where Nick asked Charlie to call to talk to his parents is on the phone screen. Charlie runs to his room, passing Tori on the stairs, who can hear her parents, and she feels terrible for her little brother.
Mom is getting a bit intense now, and it bothers me.
I
don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It just keeps getting, like, I feel like it starts going up from here, and without going into spoiler territory, it keeps going up.
It does not get better.
No.
The first week of the holiday goes well for Nick, other than his brother David being an asshole, but that's nothing new. Charlie, on the other hand, is hiding in his room and not responding to group messages. The second week, Nick gets worried about Charlie, as does Tal, who has noticed that Charlie is quiet, but Charlie blames that on missing Nick. The third week, Tori, who knows something is up with Charlie, tries to ask him about it, but their dad interrupts because their grandparents from Spain have arrived for a family dinner. Charlie struggles all the way through and has to excuse himself to hide in his room. He calls Nick, and the reception is good for once. Yay! As they're talking, Charlie admits he can't tell his parents about his eating disorder because he doesn't have the same relationship Nick does with his mom, who, by the way, is currently berating David for being an asshole about Nick.
Good. As she should.
Nick's mom is worried about him. He's been throwing stones in the sea for the past 20 minutes. Nick tells her about Charlie's eating disorder and confesses he doesn't know what to do or how to help him, and he's worried about what might happen if he doesn't do anything. His mom tells him he's only 16 and this is a lot to carry on his shoulders. It isn't his job to save Charlie, but a professional's, but he can support him in lots of other ways. As Nick's mum's telling him how, the panel cuts to Tao and Elle FaceTiming, then Tara and Darcy in Darcy's bedroom, each supporting the other. Nick's mum promises that when they get home, they'll sit down and do some proper research about how to talk to Charlie's parents or to a doctor.
A couple of days later, school starts. Elle, Tara and Darcy are all starting sixth form at Higgs, and Charlie, Tao and Alid are entering year 11 at Trillium.
Can I interrupt and be American here?
Of course.
What does this mean? What do these numbers
Right, so
mean?
you know how I've said before... No, do you know how I've said before we can leave school at 16?
Uh-huh.
So that's year 11. So anything after that is either college, sixth form, or you're free in the world.
What is sixth form, though? What?
Sixth form is the equivalent of going to college, but it's usually based inside a school. So a college is a separate institution to a sixth form. A sixth form is usually attached to a school.
Yeah. And then if you want to keep going, you go to university.
Yeah. Sixth form is the equivalent of would be the equivalent of your high school, but only 2 years.
Mm.
Okay. Just
your schools are weird anyways. Middle school. What the hell's middle school? Makes no sense.
I guess
that's just a name for the numbers. Like, it still goes first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. There's no other things.
Well, ours goes 1, 2, 3. It just starts at a younger age. It starts from when you after you've been to nursery or kindergarten.
Yeah, that's when ours starts too.
Or first year,
Kindergarten
so-
and then first grade. And just go.
Yeah, so nursery, year 1.
But then you get. Then you go to sixth form. Like, where does sixth fit? It's not sixth grade.
Take the number sixth. Take the number sixth out. It's just an extension of being inside the school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Except,
But
it's based at a school, whereas a college is based as a separate institution.
okay, but you can understand how a non-British would find this confusing. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. That's all.
It confused me for the longest time. And I
You're
lived here.
there. You're doing it.
Well, I never went to sixth form. I went to college.
I went to college.
thought it was the same thing!
The easiest way to understand between college and sixth form is sixth form you have to wear a uniform because you're still within the school grounds, whereas college you get to wear whatever the hell you want. And it feels like you've got a lot more freedom. It seems like with sixth form you are there the full day, whereas college you just go back and forth to whatever classes you need to go to.
All right.
It's like mini uni.
It is. It's mini university.
Just
Yes.
just know that I am confused.
There's got to be a diagram somewhere.
We'll have to find.
British
We'll have to
school
find.
institution.
Yes, someone draw me a diagram.
Oh no. I can't draw. But Nick walks into school and sees Christian, Otis, and Sai, who are also starting sixth form at Trillium with him. They haven't seen Nick all summer. Is it because he spent it with his boyfriend? they aren't taking the mickey. They are actually really curious and apologise for making a hash over it at the beginning of the summer.
So British. What is happening right now? What is that?
Do you know what hash means?
No! This is... No.
A botched job.
Yeah, I get, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think you're just Britishing it
You know
up
how
on
a hash
purpose.
brown... You know how a hash brown is just a mix of all of the stuff and it's just basically a big pile of mixed up things that doesn't
Yes.
make any sense?
Yes.
It's a hash job. It's a botched job. You've made a hash of it. You've made a mistake.
No, I've definitely heard that before now that I've heard it again.
Oh my god, it's not even British, it's colloquial. Carry on, sorry.
But no, that's fine. So Hara's at the school gates waiting for Nick. And all his friends welcome her to Truham and quickly help her find her way around, which is useful because Charlie's texted Nick and he goes off to find his boyfriend to get his promised kisses.
During registration, Nick asks Charlie to come over on Saturday because it's his birthday and he wants to introduce Charlie to his dad. When Charlie arrives on Saturday, Nick is upset because, shocking no one, his shithead dad didn't show. They still have a fun afternoon with his mom, who gives Nick driving lessons as his gift. Yay! Charlie gives Nick all of the jumpers he borrowed off him and a real present too, a photo album with a picture from the beach. The rest empty for Nick to fill.
That's so cute.
It's very precious. Except don't give all your sweatshirts back, man. You gotta keep those.
He's given them back so they can get laundered and then returned, I think.
Oh, he just hasn't washed them.
Yeah.
Oh, he did
Yeah.
say they don't smell like him anymore, didn't he?
Yeah, they need to replenish their
Yeah.
smell.
Can you just sweat in this a little bit and hand it
Yeah.
back?
Thank you.
Just rub it all over. And then...
Just wear it after rugby practice and then
Okay.
hand it over afterwards. Thank you. Later, Nick wakes Charlie from a nap and tells him he's worried about him. He's noticed he's stressed and very tired lately, and he offers to be there when he talks to his parents and suggests that maybe writing everything he wants to say down will help. Charlie agrees and is worried his parents won't believe him. Nick walks Charlie home and holds his hand as he talks to his parents. The last two panels show Charlie crying and being held by Nick and his parents, then a copy of the letter he wrote ending with, "I want to get better." Heartbreaking.
It's very sad. Nearly 4 months pass, and now it's New Year's Eve. Nick is tidying his room, and he finds his journal. It's been a while since he's written anything in it, so he takes a moment to update it before Charlie gets there. He writes about Charlie going to the doctor, being referred to an eating disorder service, but the waiting list was long, and his appointment isn't until January, and things got worse for Charlie. He started skipping school, which made his mum mad. He became obsessive over food and started self-harming again.
Oh, no. Poor baby.
Oops.
In October, Charlie's parents had to take him to the emergency room. His mental health was assessed there, and the doctors recommended he spend some time as an inpatient. He said yes and got a place in a hospital 2 hours away. They spoke on the phone, and Nick visited a lot, but it was worrying and made Nick anxious. But his mom helped. At Charlie's request, Nick didn't tell people at school why Charlie's been out, but the Paris squad knows. They've been supportive too, sending care packages and helping Nick. Nick's also gotten to know Oliver and Tori better during the car rides to the hospital. Tori is quiet and intense, but she's good people. In early December, Charlie came home. Christmas Day was especially hard because he had a massive argument with his mom. And apparently this is a story that was in This Winter. In that story, is that right? I haven't read that one.
Yes. If you read the novella This Winter, it tells you exactly what happened at Christmas Day, and it is heart-wrenching.
It's a long journey, and this is only the start. But Charlie is doing better. He has a therapist, he hasn't self-harmed for months, and he's been thinking differently about how to deal with his anorexia. Now, it's time to get ready for a party.
The Paris squad is at the party, and they're so happy to see Charlie. Nick is good at deflecting questions from others about Charlie being off school, and somehow Nick manages to stay awake until midnight and the fireworks display. At midnight, they snog each other's faces off.
As is tradition. Flash forward to March. Charlie is sitting in his room, looking at his journal, which He's not written in since the summer. Jeff, his therapist, has encouraged him to start writing in it again. He writes that he hates the idea of therapy at first and that there have been ups and downs. The hospital was what he needed, even though some of the rules sucked and some of the days were awful. But it was mostly fun, and he even made some friends. He was diagnosed with anorexia and OCD, and though those words are scary, they're also a relief, and things start to make sense. Jeff is helping process all the bad things that have happened, being outed, the bullying, Ben. Ben. Some days Charlie's fine, others he's not, but he's been assured that the bad days will get less common, and sometimes Charlie thinks Jeff is full of shit, but sometimes he feels hopeful.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Normal process.
Yeah.
Charlie goes on to write about returning to school after the Christmas holidays and how Mr. Farouk and Miss Singh have been really supportive. So has Tori, even though she's carrying a lot of guilt and her mental health isn't great either. But she's made a new friend, Michael, who is the total opposite of her, and their story is in the book Solitaire. Charlie had a self-harm relapse in January after having a shitty day, then arguing with Nick over something dumb that made him leave. It just got to be too much. Charlie told Nick, and he immediately came back, and they made up. Charlie's parents even let Nick stay over to keep an eye on him, which was not necessary, but they did get to cuddle all night. This whole thing has made Charlie realize that they need other people too, like siblings, parents, friends, a therapist, more friends, and even teachers. Tori interrupts Charlie's writing because it's almost time to go to dinner. The Spring family will be having dinner with Nick's family, and his dad, who Nick isn't out with, will be there. But will he? Will he be there?
Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Tori gives Charlie a hug before letting him get ready. That was amazing, Drew. Can this be Dragon Ball Z instead? That would make me so happy.
If it was Dragon Ball Z, we will never ever find out if Nick's dad is there for like at least 2 years.
It will take at least 48 episodes to find out.
Mm-hmm.
You know why he's not there? He's just running along Snake Way. He's
Exactly.
never gonna make it.
Gotta talk to Mrs. Snake.
Oh, dang.
God, I love it.
This has given me an idea for the episode picture now.
Goku.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay. Serious face. Nick is setting the table and looks nervous. His mom tries to comfort him and assures him that he doesn't need to come out to his father. He doesn't owe it to him. It's not for his father though, it's for himself. Just then the doorbell rings. The Springs have arrived and Oliver only has eyes for Nellie and Henry, the newest baby double. Greetings are exchanged and we find out the parents' names. At last!
Finally!
Volume 4,
Finally.
we finally find out their names. Nick's parents are Sarah and Stefan. Charlie's are Jane and Julio. Tori checks that Nick is okay and he's all as well as can be. And then Charlie checks if they need to pretend to be platonic BFFs. David is there too. Well, he's not interacting because he's an asshat.
Oh, he's the worst. He needs to be
He's the
Kamehameha.
Well, the meal is going well, and Nick is trying to decide the best time to come out to his dad, when David takes it upon himself to interrupt the conversation and asking his dad if he knows how Nick met Charlie. Yes, they met at school, and they play rugby together. Stefan misunderstands David's pointed comments and exclaims how rugby players attract all the girls. And then he asks if Nick and Charlie have found a girlfriend yet. Tori watches David closely, and if looks could kill, he would be ashes. When David almost outs Nick about not needing a girlfriend, Tori grabs David's arm and digs her nails in, whispering, Don't you fucking dare.
I love how threatening Tori
Me
is.
too.
Yes.
It didn't help, though. It's too late. Nick is pissed.
It's just too bad.
And he calls his brother out for always doing this. David says he's just helping, but it isn't helping. He's an asshole. Nick stands up, tells his dad that Charlie is his boyfriend, that he's bisexual, and that he's surprised he hadn't caught on to that considering how much he talks about Charlie. But honestly, Nick doesn't give a fuck what his dad thinks as he sees him so rarely. Then, turning on his brother, Nick calls David out for bullying him into hating himself for his whole life. But you know what? It's not working anymore. Nick likes who he is, and he likes his life. Nick leaves the table, and Charlie goes after him.
David turns into a whiny little bitch. I mean, he's already a whiny little bitch, but he gets worse, if that is conceivably possible.
Somehow, things get worse.
He starts demanding his mum not let Nick talk to him like that, but she shuts him down immediately. Whew. Even his father tells him how disappointing David is to him. Burn! Oh my God, you do not want to hear those words from a parent's mouth. Sarah then puts Stefan in his place, telling him he has no right to say anything since he barely sees his own children. She's sick of them both. The Springs are suddenly extremely interested in each other and their dogs.
Oh,
Look at little Henry. So cute.
oh yeah, I love that little doggo.
Let's go and chase Nelly around.
Oh, look at that. Now, Charlie catches up to Nick in the back garden, and you know what? Nick is alright. It wasn't what he planned, but it was honest. Sarah also comes out to check on Nick and tells him she's glad he said what he did. Later, as Stefan is leaving, Nick sees him to the door. Stefan apologizes and says he wants to be better. Nick tells him how hurt he is that he cancels plans and that he needs him to actually try to be better. Not just say it, you know, as you'd expect. They agree to meet before he goes back to Paris, and Charlie is invited, which is a huge deal.
As the Springs are getting ready to go, Julio congratulates Nick for handling the situation well, while Sarah and Jane compare drama, and Oliver holds the dogs tight. Tori, in the bathroom, overhears David sitting on the stairs talking on the phone. He is being the worst fucking asshole that there has ever been, complaining about Nick coming out and calling him an attention seeker, and blames it all on Charlie. Tori, hero that she is, kicks David's phone out of his hand and sends it flying across the room. Tori calls him a pathetic little man and promises to end him if he talks about her brother again. And we all cheer.
Favorite panel, I think.
Definitely. Back in the hall, Oliver is inconsolable at having to leave the dogs, bless him. Charlie, meanwhile, asks his mom if he can stay out a bit longer to take a drive for milkshakes, since Nick has passed his test.
Yay!
Whee! Jane gives Charlie a massive hug, extends his curfew to 11 and tells him, "I trust you. Sorry I haven't been very good at that." Huge, huge omission. Nick and Charlie leave to get into Nick's car, which the poor guy has got P plates.
Oh no.
I know. And with Chloe Morando's "I Want to Be With You" blaring, go for a drive.
What's a P plate?
Yes,
What is a P plate?
Okay, so when you're a learner, you have a red L on the car to show to everybody you are a learner driver. You do not have an official licence. But what you can do after you've got your licence is have another one, which is a green P on it to let everybody know that you've just passed your test. But it's embarrassing as all fuck. Mm-hmm. It's the worst thing. Nobody wants to have that horrible green P plate splattered on the car in any way. My mum was great. She didn't get the P plate for me. She was like, "No, there's no point. You can either drive or you can't. Doesn't matter." My friend Vince, on the other hand, his mum insisted he drive with the green P plate, and then he accidentally lost it, to which she replaced
No.
it, and she made him have it on for another 6 months afterwards. It's
Oh.
very funny.
I have a weird one. My boyfriend passed his test and then like didn't drive a car for like 5 years. Got his first car, and then was like, "I'm gonna have some P plates on just so everyone knows." I'm like, I can't be seen with you.
That's embarrassing. No.
Yes.
No. Oh, no.
I wasn't a P plates person.
No, P plates are just embarrassing. Why do you need to tell anybody you've just passed your test? You either can drive or you can't.
Alright, well, I think everyone knew because I stopped hitting things, so.
That doesn't necessarily mean you passed your test or not.
Well, when you don't hit the curb as much.
I know somebody who their form of parking at a supermarket car park was to go next to the bollards and then stop when the bollard makes
What's
her stop.
a bollard?
Oh,
no. That's how she used to stop.
Just like a little, like normally concrete or metal pillar,
Post.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
a post.
It's so British. I need a moment to process all of the British schisms. Can we?
Okay, we're gonna go and get a British dictionary for Amanda. I also have a diagram of the British educational system. If
Okay,
you want one.
yeah, I need help. I need help. It's the first step I need to take. Telling people that I need help.
Big step.
Have you ever wondered what Tina Fey has in common with Jonathan Swift?
Or how Star Wars is connected to feudal Japan?
Or just how pervasive Shakespeare's influence still is? I'm Rhonda,
And I'm Erin.
and our show Pop DNA explores the literary and historical roots of your favorite pop culture works.
Like the Greek mythology and early 20th century feminism echoed in the film Wonder Woman.
Or the classic dystopian fiction and real-life political revolutions that informed the Hunger Games.
Every month, we bring you a deep dive discussion of a selected pop culture work.
Featuring jokes no one will think are funny, and literary references no one asked for.
Find us at thepopdna.blog.
Or anywhere you get your podcasts.
By the way, Shakespeare is bigger than Disney.
Are we back?
I think we're back.
We're back,
I'm
baby.
still confused. It doesn't help. Nothing helps. It's fine. That's why I have you two. You can awkwardly
You-
explain
you're
things
lost
to
in
me, and then I'll
translation.
still go, what?
That's the fun of it.
Oh, man.
You need to watch more British television. That'll help. That's how we know American
Oh,
TV.
that's what I need to do. I don't watch a lot of TV, though.
Yeah, why not?
I mostly listen to
Well.
books. I mean, this is helpful to me-ish, I guess, having these conversations with you two with these books, because they are exceptionally British.
They are. They're more British than Miss Gales.
Yes. But to be fair, Miss Gale is not 100% British.
No, she's not 100% British, but she's exceedingly good at being
She
100%
is.
British, but not
Right.
overly British within the books.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right,
Panels. Yes.
Amanda, I'm going to put you're first because you came the first panel that you love came
Yes.
first.
Yes. Okay. So, the panel
Chronology.
where like Charlie had just been confessing his love to the mirror, and then Nick comes over and Oliver like skips out and he's going to declare Charlie's love for Nick, and then Charlie whips him up by his face and carries him off. That is the exact thing that happened to me with my older sister when I came frolicking out of the bathroom holding a pair of her underpants that the dog chewed the crotch out of and was just waving them in the air, showing them to the boys that were in the living room that my sister had huge crushes on. And so my sister picked me up by my mouth, which you can see, that's the same thing that's happening. It's the same thing that's happening to little Oliver. There's a hand over that mouth. Just whip him up and drag him into another room. That exact same thing happened to me. It's real. Mine might have been worse.
It can
though.
be done.
Mine might have been worse than Oliver's, though, because I did have a pair of leopard print, crotch chewed out panties that I was waving around in the air.
It's like, what?
I did do that. Pretty embarrassing. Sorry. Candy, my older sister. I'm actually not sorry. It's one of my favorite stories to tell.
I was waiting for that. I could see the lack of any repenting.
But I loved that panel so much because it's real. That exact same thing happened to me. So
it's backed up by science.
it is. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the best.
Okay, Drew, you said your favourite panel was Tori?
Yes, Tori kicking David's phone, but also when Nick and his mum talk. I like that. Like those are my two standout bits. I think they're very nice. Is nice the right word? I guess nice for one, but it feels very real, I guess. It's very different from normal stories where it's like, I have a boyfriend and my problems are solved.
Yeah, boyfriends don't solve any problems in this in this series of books, do they? Because it just goes to show boys are trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Boys are trouble. Doesn't matter if it's a boy dating a boy, or a girl dating a boy, or a non-binary person dating a boy. Boys are trouble.
I think that is unfair to say. I think dating is
teenage
trouble.
boys are trouble.
Teenage dating is trouble.
Teenage dating is trouble. Okay, let's
And
broad stroke it
and
as
having older siblings. Except for Tori is an older sibling, and she is pretty great.
Yeah.
But David is a fuckbag, so...
Oh my god, I hate David so much. The contrast between Tori and David is astounding. Like, David is an absolute fucking prick. Can't stand him. Want to kick him in the teeth. But Tori, who's going through her own shit, and if you do want to read more about it, highly recommend Solitaire. It is at points a difficult read as well, and it's not necessarily a happy ending. It's less of a story and more just a series of events, and it's definitely not a romance.
Yay!
But it trigger warning, lots to do with mental health. And you find out what's really going on inside Tori's head, and it's not the easiest of reads. But she's going through her own stuff, and she's so genuinely worried about Charlie, but she's quite introverted. She doesn't want to talk to anybody. She's just this presence that's there, this comforting presence, and I think Charlie appreciates that's what his sister's like. Whereas David's this loud mouth prick who can't keep his mouth shut and just gives his vile opinions unwarranted and unneeded. Such complete chalk and cheese.
Do we ever get any more of David? Like, any of his backstory? Why is he such a shitbag?
I don't think so, and I don't think there's an explanation for him being a shitbag.
Because surely there's got to be something going on for him to be so awful. Like, I almost wonder...
He's just narcissistic, I think, as well.
Or is he maybe also queer in some way and, like, is afraid of
projecting.
it? And and, like, maybe, he sees his brother coming out and everything going well for him, and, like, maybe something happened and it did not go well for him, or he was too scared to say anything. I mean... And now if he says it, now if he tries to come out, it'll be like, oh, you're just doing that because Nick's doing that. Is it something like that?
It's a very distinct possibility, but what I would hope is that he would grow up in his attitude, and he would have a conversation with Nick and say, Nick, I'm really sorry for the way I treated you, and what I've realised is that in fact I was projecting my fear onto your situation when in fact I am X, Y, and Z. And, your bravery has given me the confidence to step forward. But I don't think that's the case, because, I do know, and I'm related to two people where you have the two siblings, and the older one, I'm not saying it's always the older one at all, I'm just saying in this situation, the older one is a homophobic prick, and the younger one is extremely liberal and all-inclusive, you know, ally, is 100% believer of love is love. So, and how does it happen when you grow up with the same parents, you're in the same household, but two very different attitudes?
I think it can also come down to like the age difference between the siblings, potentially, because I don't remember if we learn how old David is, but I always got the feeling he was like maybe like 10 years older. So just
he's at university,
but
that's not to say he did the school sixth form / college university route. He might have gone to university a bit older, but I think it's safe to say he's between 19 and 23, if that was the case.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just kind of always got the vibe he was kind of just a dick, and his purpose in life was to be a dick.
Yeah. Maybe he's an incel.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Some people don't have rhyme or reason for being a prick. They're just a prick. And it may be that back at school he fell in with a bad crowd and he took on their attitudes. And it may be that he's never known anybody who has been queer before, so he doesn't know how to react to it. But I mean, if you go to university, there's a very good chance that element is there, but it's already ingrained in him that he is a homophobic douchebag.
Yeah. Is he friends with Harry?
He's just a sack of shit. Quite possibly. They'll probably go to the same homophobic club. Some people are just shit.
True.
Some people are just garbage people.
Don't be a garbage person.
And it's sad. Don't be a garbage person. It's sad for them that they can't have any growth. At least in Volume 3, we did see some growth with Harry.
Yeah.
With the conversation in Paris. But I do not think we are ever going to get that with David.
No, he's the worst.
Yeah. I don't get the feeling. I just feel like he's just going to be that older brother who likes to cause shit.
It's going to get to a situation where Nick and David are not going to have a relationship. And I think at this stage, Nick would quite happily not have a relationship with his older brother if given any opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, why would you?
Yes.
Yeah. Purely for his mum's sake, I think, at this point. But there's a very good chance that Nick's mum could just say, you know, until your attitude changes, I don't need your negativity.
Yeah, and especially with that dinner scene, and even Stefan, who is an absent parent, being disappointed in David. Like, maybe this will be some sort of change in him, you know, seeing I just embarrassed myself in front of everyone at dinner and everyone thinks I'm a shitbag. Maybe I actually am a shitbag. Maybe this will be his turning point.
I can hope.
I wonder, I hope, but I do wonder if David is the type of person who he can't be embarrassed in front of the Springs. He doesn't know or care about the Spring family. And then it's his dad, his mum, his absentee dad, his mum who, as far as he thinks is, I think David thinks his mum's soft when she's not.
Yeah.
She you know, she's raised him as a single parent. She's absolute kick ass. And then there's Nick, who doesn't give two shades of shit about his little brother. I don't think that situation is embarrassing enough for him to stimulate any kind of change or self-reflection. It needs to be in front of his friends. It needs to be in front of his peers.
Does he even have any friends?
Where that will happen. Well, the phone call would suggest he has somebody to talk to. Or he's dialed one of those sex bot numbers.
Yeah, it's just a fake phone call.
And he's like...
He's like, I just need to talk to someone.
It's the talking clock. I don't know if that still exists. But there used to be a telephone number, Amanda, where you could call and it would tell you the time.
Oh, yeah, we had one of those too. It would tell you the time and the temperature. It was called, shocking to everyone,
we didn't have temperature.
Time and temperature.
Oh, we just somebody famous for a little while took over doing the voiceover for it, and I remember me and my friends were calling it all the time. Randomly.
I think that's a bit before my time.
To be 17 again.
Oh, and Drew wasn't born yet. Drew couldn't use
Oh,
his
and this is
phone
back in
yet.
the day when you used to have to put credit on your mobile phone.
I was alive
And I
during
had
those
to pay
times.
credit for my mobile phone, please.
Now if you ask for credit, they're like,
You are?
You're like, what? Like, I mean, yeah, sure, but what? Why? Just get it on
You want to
contract.
extend your data plan? Oh.
Another one of my favorite panels, getting back to talking about this book a little bit,
Oh, yes.
is when they're about to start their dinner and Charlie's like, so do we need to be platonic bro BFFs? And he starts calling him mate and pal, bro. I really enjoyed that.
Yes.
I do that to Colin all the time. It's so funny.
I really liked that panel as well. It was very, very wholesome.
I think it's the sign of an established relationship when you can start doing messing around with things like that.
Are there any other good panels that anyone loved?
I think we all just had the same kind of favourite panels because everything we've mentioned is the ones I liked.
I did like at the beginning of the school year when the rugby lads finally talked to Nick and they were like, yeah, sorry, we're like, we really were stupid and we were trying to be nice and we messed up and
They made hash browns.
we're fully supportive of you and Charlie. They made hash browns.
They made some hash browns.
They made some hash browns. And it was like, oh, I like that. And I like the fact that as soon as Sahar came on, they were like, hello, welcome to Truham. It must be so intimidating being a girl going to an all-boys school.
So why is that a thing?
Don't know.
Okay.
Narrative purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But some schools do have weird rules like that. I mean, all the ones I went to were just normal, I guess.
There is an all-boys school and there is an all-girls school, like, in my area, but the Catholic schools, I don't know. I don't know if they've got sixth forms, and I don't think the cross-gender at sixth form. I don't know. It's probably to encourage numbers, just to encourage attendance, because you're not a student. When I was at college, I remember being in the student union and going to a meeting with the college dean, and he didn't refer to students as students. He referred to us as units of resource.
Oh.
And every single student has a monetary value on their head. And the
Oh.
more you've got, the more money you've got. So, you felt like you were really loved and really valued as a member of the college. It was wonderful. So I can only imagine that the only reason they're doing it is because once you've done your final exams at 16 and you have the option of going to a different school or going to a different college or going to college, it's just to make it easier to keep the numbers up.
Okay.
That's my only guess.
So even you don't understand the excessively Britishness.
Is it
I don't
excessively
know.
British? I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah, is what it is.
It's interesting.
See, I'm not keen on the idea of like only boys or only girls school, because I think it makes it difficult to talk to the opposite gender. Like, you don't know how to socially interact with them. Like, I don't know.
But there was the Paris trip where they all got to intermingle. And I'm sure there's been other stuff where they've all got to intermingle, right?
Yeah, again, I don't know how common that is, because I can't imagine the two Catholic schools in my area doing that, because the nuns would have heart attacks at trying to keep the boys and the girls apart, and they already have terrible reputations for deviant behaviours.
No.
The students, not the nuns.
Are you sure about that? It could be the nuns.
Yeah.
Probably both, to be fair. I sold nuns' underwear once. My first ever job was in a Marks and Spencer's. And I was in the menswear and women's department, women's lingerie department, because it was on the same floor. And a gaggle of nuns. What's a murder of nuns, an unkindness of nuns, a coven of nuns, whatever a group of nuns is
A
called.
rosary of nuns.
And a rosary of nuns.
A habit.
They came
A
and
habit
like,
of
"Can you
nuns.
help us?" And a habit of nuns. And none of them were Whoopi Goldberg,
Damn it.
unfortunately. And they asked for my help. And obviously, me being an eager 16-year-old and my first ever job and my first ever day, oh yes, I can help. So I helped them find their knickers and then ran them through the till. And they also bought shortbread. And they said, "Oh, you're going to come to our Christmas," because it was a Christmas job. And they said, "Do you want to come to our Christmas party?" I was like, "Thanks, but I'm working."
I've just googled it, and a group of nuns is known as a superfluity.
What?
That
Doesn't sound like
What?
a word.
I mean, I could be saying it completely wrong, but it's super Fluity.
Superfluity, yeah.
Fluity?
A group of nuns is known as a superfluity, although the term is now rarely used to refer to nuns. It is sometimes used to refer to an excessive amount of something.
How
The more you know.
interesting.
Well, there you go.
Oh, I love collecting.
But I still think a
nouns.
rosary of nuns.
Yeah. Yeah. I love collective nouns.
Anywho. Favourite character? Do you think it's safe to say that we've probably got the same one?
Probably.
I think so.
Shall we say it together after 3?
Yes.
2, 3.
Tori,
Tori.
why'd you whisper it so creepily?
I don't know.
I thought I was going with the vibe.
1, 2, 3. Tori!
Yeah.
I prefer to be creepy. Did you do that for me?
Yeah. Wait till our recommendation.
Oh, I'm so excited. Although I do also kind of want to say, based on our brief conversation earlier, that my favorite character is also Vegeta. That's weird. Dragon Ball Z conversation.
Agreed.
It's been too long since I've seen Dragon Ball Z, so I really can't comment.
That's okay. Drew and I can talk Dragon Ball Z for forever, I'm sure. But we probably shouldn't.
Exactly.
Go
But
for
we
it.
could.
Maybe
you know what the
on a
thing
different
is?
episode.
Yes.
I'm quite convinced that if I started rewatching Dragon Ball Z, they're probably still on the way to that tournament. And it's been a few, yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Potentially.
Yeah. Drew, we'll have to have a spin-off episode and just only talk Dragon Ball Z one day.
Nice.
Okay. Excellent.
Just take over Vampire Book Club one day.
Nah, nobody else would enjoy that. It would just be the two of us and everyone would drop out.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching other people talk about things they're enthusiastic about. So you'll just have me sitting there going, ooh.
It can be like, you can be like me in this episode where I was getting confused about all the British stuff. And I'm going, what? In the background. And so then you can do that during the Dragon Ball episode.
Mm-hmm.
Turnabout's fair play, I'm in. Count me
Excellent.
in.
Okay. Other than that, surprise.
Can I also give a shout out as well, sorry, to Nick's mum
Mm-hmm.
for talking sense to Nick about, that it's not on him. He's a 16-year-old boy. He shouldn't be out to fix Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And that sitting down and holding his hand and saying, we'll do it together and we'll help Charlie together. And then telling Stefan and David that they're being fucking dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Shout out
Nick
to
Mum too.
Sarah. Is she Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
It's Sarah or Jane?
It's Jane. It's
I
Jane and
referred-
Julio. So it's Sarah and
Yeah.
Stefan.
Sarah.
They go together. Their letters of the alphabet go together.
I think of her as Olivia Colman.
Yes. Shout out to Olivia Colman. The Oscar was
See, I still haven't watched
I
the
haven't.
show.
Fair enough. You've read the books,
I have
though,
read the books.
so you are enlightened.
I am. Though I do like Olivia Colman. I'm sure she's amazing in this as Nick's mum.
Yeah.
She's perfect casting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did anyone have any surprises?
I really don't think I did this time. Like,
No.
because with, like, you know, it could be surprising that Stefan was a dick and, like, but he finally showed up for dinner, and then Sarah tells him, you know, you don't really get to say anything because you're never here. So that could be surprising, but then it's not, because we know that Nick's mom is, like, she doesn't put up with shit. So it's like, it's expected for her to correct others' behavior without even a second thought. So I can't say that it's surprising. I did appreciate it, but it's not a surprise because Nick's mom is amazing. And, like, the same with Tori and David. You just...
I thought your surprise was going to be that Stefan actually turned up
yeah,
for
I
dinner.
mean, it could do that.
That was a surprise for me. I didn't really have up that very much like you, Amanda. I was like, I was very pleasantly happy that they included things, but it didn't overall surprise me because Nick's mum is a G. But yeah, I think I loved it all. And Stefan actually showing up was actually, I was like, oh, he exists. Yeah.
He's actually real.
He's not just a figment. He's not just a figment of Nick's French imagination.
Yeah.
See, I agree. And so I really struggled to think of an actual surprise. And when I was reading it, my probably biggest surprise was that Tori did not break David's face. Like, her restraint is probably more surprising. She was subtle at the table when she dug her nails in, and she was like, don't you fucking dare. And then when she just kicked his phone and broke his phone, like, even then I thought that I was surprised at her restraint. So less of a shock of the story and more of the surprise that somebody is actually be able to stop themselves from beating 7 shades of hell out of David, because it would have been justified.
Yeah.
But see, it's also expected of Tori, because she's very cool and calm on the outside. So you expect her to very seriously look into the eyes of the girls sitting next to them in the movie theater and telling them that she's going to break their phone. It's very expected. So her just kicking the phone out of his hand, reasonable. Normal.
Completely reasonable. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tori went full serial killer, you know?
She could do that. And then we have a spin-off series, and it's my favorite book from now until another murdersome book comes out. I like it. You guys are so nice at including weird, violent things that make me happy. I appreciate it.
I think you'd really like Solitaire, to be honest, Amanda, because there's lots of not romance in it.
I probably will, and
drama and mystery.
I'll get around to reading it.
It's quite angsty. Yeah. It is quite angsty.
Oh, I'll read it for sure.
Yeah. But it's a very quick read. Very quick. It's not a long book.
I might reread it.
Good.
All right. Is it time?
It's time.
Pew, pew.
Pew pew.
Okay, so we asked on social media, would you rather enjoy a picnic with fish and chips or homemade falafel? On Facebook, fish and chips won with 85%. On Instagram, fish and chips won with 86%. On Twitter, fish and chips won with 67%. And on TikTok, fish and chips won with 60%. So everybody's having fish and chips.
Not me. I picked falafel. Sorry. Spoiler alert. We're not there yet, but spoiler.
Oh my God.
I know.
Let's read the comments and then you can get excited about falafel.
Okay, I will.
So Katrina on Facebook said, fish and chips. I'm not keen on falafel.
Annie on Facebook said, I'm a veggie, so definitely the falafel. Yay, Annie! Also, you don't want your sweetie to kiss you with fishy breath. So true.
Yeah. Vincent on Facebook said, falafel is rank. Give me a good old-fashioned fish and chips any day of the week.
Bree on Facebook said, I will happily take oily fish and potatoes any day over most other food. I will try falafel someday when I'm feeling more adventurous.
Emily on Facebook said, I like them both, but fish and chips brings me back to my study abroad days in Ireland.
And Colin on Facebook said, although I appreciate the effort that has gone into homemade anything, yes, yes, I'll take some home for later. I have a real urge for fish and chips right now. Lots of salt and vinegar, please. Is the way.
Drown it.
And finally, Real Jackson Ford on Instagram is going with fish and chips. Now, see, nah, dog. While we're talking about Jackson Ford, nah, dog. I prefer falafel. I mean, it's chickpeas and it's mushed up and there's lots of garlic and it's crispy, fried together. It's delicious.
Maybe I need to retry it.
I do like falafel. I make falafel.
Me too. Get a nice, like, chewy pita bread. Yep.
Nice. My mum makes really nice pita breads, actually.
Oh.
It's delicious.
I'd go for fish and chips, but without the fish. Yeah, because I don't like fish.
Just chips.
Just chips, salt,
What about
and vinegar.
sausage and chips?
Mhm.
Or
Battered.
curry battered bun?
I've never had one of those before.
Oh, there's a massive debate over curry battered bun, like how it's done. Do you take the bread bun and then do you just
Dunk it.
deep fry it and batter? Or if you're my friend Vince, you take the bun, you dip it in the curry sauce, then you fry it in batter.
I wouldn't do either. I feel like fish and chips is oily enough, so I don't want to clog my arteries more.
No, the curry battered buns are disgusting. Like, personally, I don't like them.
I like curry sauce with my chips and sausage. Or a
Do you want to
pie.
go uber British? Do you want me to say something uber British that even Drew
You
probably doesn't
already
even know?
are.
I'll try my best.
If you go to a local fish and chip shop in the northeast, you don't order it as fish and chips necessarily. You can, but if you want to order a portion of fish and chips, you'd say, "Can I have a fish lot, please?" And it's a very, very local thing, a fish lot.
I thought you were gonna go like deep fried Mars bar.
No, that's Scottish.
Yeah.
And no.
Oh, no. Okay, if you guys want to talk deep frying stuff, then you need to come to the American South because everything here is deep fried. And if you go to a state fair, you can get literally anything you could ever think of deep fried, and even stuff that shouldn't be deep fried. Like,
It's like
deep fried Oreos was a thing for a while. Then they moved on to deep fried butter, and then deep fried Coca-Cola.
How does that work?
So many things.
Oh no, I've heard of like people using cola as like part of the batter. Like beer batter is a big
Right.
thing where you substitute the liquid for beer, which is very nice, very crispy. It sounds like somebody Scottish has gone to the deep south and has just gone into the sweet shop and just got all the confection and just thrown it into. How do you deep fry butter though?
I think probably with most things that like would melt immediately, I think it's probably frozen first.
Why would you eat deep fried butter?
You know?
I mean, I feel like it tastes nice, but also terrible at the same time.
I'm not trying it.
You for mine.
I can feel my arteries
Right?
clogging already.
It's too much.
I'll stick to my salt and vinegar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have fish and chips.
I'm
with salt
not a
and
fan of
vinegar.
vinegar.
You want to drown the fish and chips. You basically want to resuscitate the fish in so much salt and vinegar that it thinks it's alive again.
No.
Oh, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but you know when you go to the pier and you get the cones with the chips in?
Oh yeah.
I shot the vinegar afterwards.
You are hardcore.
Yes.
You are hardcore.
Oh, I really did just almost
love
throw
it.
up in my mouth.
Ah.
I love it.
Oh. No,
Wow.
thank you. Moving on, please, for the love of fuck.
Too British. I've gone too
Oh,
British.
it's too much. No. Oh.
What the hell?
No. Nah, move on.
Drew, what do you call the bits when you get fish and chips, and you get the little bits of batter. What do you call those?
Bits.
Just bits.
Just bits.
Because there's so many different names, like scraps, scrags, bits. Those are they're called all different things, and nobody knows what they're actually called.
Fried bits, I guess. Yeah, just they're the
Batter
extra bits.
Yeah.
The extra surprise.
Can we please move
Okay.
on?
It's like a
Can
surprise.
we please?
Yes.
I'm still sick to my stomach over shooting vinegar.
I've forgotten about that. I'd managed to get it out of my brain.
Okay.
Drew, you dirty bitch.
Hey. Yeah.
Would you rather go to a huge party with lots of people so you feel uncomfortable, or go to a small, excruciatingly awkward dinner party?
No. Can I get takeaway and just watch Netflix?
Nope, there is no option C, Claire.
Can I go to the huge party, feel completely uncomfortable, take a plate from the buffet, and then go home? So technically, I've gone to the party, but I've only been there for 5 minutes.
10 minutes. Stay for 10, and then you can go.
Who's at the party?
Oh, everyone.
Do I like these people or not?
Out of the 100 people that are there, you like approximately 2.5 people.
Can I take those 2.5 people into a separate room and we could just have our own little mini party?
Maybe, but then 10 minutes into your separate small mini party, then it's going to get crashed by other people that you don't like, and then they're not going to leave.
Tempted to go with the excruciatingly awkward dinner party, because then it's funny to talk about and think about afterwards and go, oh my god, how awkward was that?
It's like, I can't believe she just said she had an affair.
As long as I'm not the centre of the attention.
Yeah,
let's go with a small excruciatingly awkward dinner party, because I'm less likely to have a headache.
Okay, I like that.
I agree. I'm going to the dinner party and I'm going to try not to laugh the entire time. As when that nervous reflex of
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that excruciatingly awkward dinner party as well, because surely there's at least one person there that I know and can commiserate with. Because surely it's not all awkward all the time with everyone.
Well, the three of us will sit on one side of the table. We'll not be the awkward people. We'll be the people who've got to witness the drama and be like, what the fuck? We have to talk about this later.
And we
oh
all
my
have
god.
to keep
And we
our
just
mouths
make those.
not moving. Oh my god, what is happening right now?
Can you pass the salt?
Give me a shot of vinegar.
I can't wait to go home and text you about this later. Oh my god. I believe what you just said.
I was like, oh. It's like,
Yeah,
the
we'll do
mistress is
that.
coming down. Oh no.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's do that together. That'll be fun.
Okay, sorted. Next question.
Would you rather go to the beach with your friends or a foreign holiday with your parents?
Where are we going, and for how long are we going on this holiday? Is it a 3-week trip?
Yes.
And do I have to spend all of my time with my parents?
I'm not a monster, so no.
Well, then that's what I'm doing. I get 3 weeks off work. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Are they paying?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'll go the foreign holiday with my with the parent, and then when I get back, I'll go to the beach with my friends and tell them all about the weirdness that occurred on the foreign holiday.
Yes,
Exactly.
and then you can sit like this and take a shot of vinegar again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I needed
Okay,
this.
no.
Oh, it's so great. I love it.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I feel like I need to clarify. It's not like a big thing of vinegar. It's just like a little bit at the bottom.
I mean, a shot isn't.
It's a good
isn't
25,
much.
50 mils of vinegar, a proper shot right at the bottom.
put some hairs on my chest.
I hate it so much.
I love it. I love it. It's so gross.
I think I'd probably go on the holiday as well, purely because I'm technically already doing that later this year anyway. So
Nice. All right. Where are you going?
yeah, Cyprus for a wedding.
Ooh. Is it going to be awkward?
Yeah.
Is there going to be anything excruciatingly awkward about it?
Probably.
Good. You'll have to tell us
I'll
about it.
I'll have to tell you guys when I get back.
It depends which part of Cyprus you go to.
The bit, well, I think it's Paphos.
Is it the Greek side or the Turkish side? Because they get a bit awkward.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know there's lots of cats at the hotel we're staying at, so I'm like, this
Oh,
is
you're
my
sorted.
That's all
dream.
you
You're
need.
fine.
It's perfect.
You.
It's perfect.
Exactly.
Next question.
Yes.
Would you rather put David or Stefan in their place for being jerks to Nick?
David, because Stefan is barely there.
You'd plan the thing with Stefan and he wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've planned the intervention. We all have our letters. We've got a big banner that says intervention for being a jerk off dad. And Stefan just doesn't turn up. What are you going to do? Put David in his place instead for being a homophobic
Yeah,
asswipe.
he's the worst.
A massive
He's the
bully.
worst.
And a
He's
dick.
the worst.
He needs instant
He does.
punishment. Whereas Stefan, it's going to be a bit harder. That's a long-term
Yeah.
commitment.
I'd say David as well, just because Stefan wouldn't show up.
Yeah. Drew, did you bring us a would you rather question this week?
I did.
Oh.
Would you guys rather have an awkward dinner party with Harry or an awkward dinner party with David?
Oh, it's so excruciatingly awkward all over the place.
I have an important question to ask, though.
Yes.
Are there shots of vinegar at this party?
Yes, it's a staple.
Because, to be honest, it's the only thing that's going to make this dinner party bearable.
Yeah, you don't have to drink them. You could pour them on them, and they could smell like
Oh,
vinegar.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing then.
Can I give them a paper cut and then pour the vinegar on them?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. If that's what we're doing, then I think I'm going to pick David. Because, like, seriously, we all need to take turns putting David in his place.
He's just a dick.
Yeah. Like, we've
Yes.
already shouted at Harry in front of all of his friends, in front of our entire school year. So we can forget about him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's just dump vinegar on David.
Yes.
I'm going to mess him up. Yeah. Since part of us, I think's Harry, because at least you can talk about movies, and he's changed for the better, so he's less of an asswipe. He's still an asswipe, but he's less of an asswipe.
Yeah.
Whereas David, will probably want to punch
Yeah.
him. Can that be my dessert?
Yeah.
Taking 7 shades of shit
Yes.
out of him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If that could be my dessert, I'll do that.
Awesome. I love it. All right.
What are you doing, Drew?
I'll probably go with Harry just because it's be a little more chill. I could drink the vinegar for myself.
That's the only reason. It's the only reason why.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh my god. Okay, move on. Move on. Favorite final thought quote.
Next.
Please.
Just gross. I'm going to go first because I just need to stop
Okay,
thinking
yeah.
about that. Okay, this is appropriate. Just fuck off.
Ah, done. The end. That's
Yes.
the end of favorite final thought quote.
Thank God I'm about to pee myself. Which is both accurate and a quote. Please say it's lunchtime. It's lunchtime. Thank God I need chips. Again, accurate and a quote.
Yes. Very good.
Oh, you are such a dork. I swear to God. There we go. They all nicely tie in together. I pass the baton to
Oh,
someone.
Drew, what are yours?
Mine are, let me nap on you, because relatable.
Yes.
You are part cat.
Yes, yes, I am. Guest starring my cat in the blood background. And I just really like Love Can't Cure Mental Illness. I feel like it's something the people reading these books need to know.
Oh, yeah.
If they've read any of the books I've read, looking at you, Twilight.
So
yeah,
good.
I just think it's a nice message.
Yeah.
Why can't you be cured? Why?
Oh, okay.
Should always have a copy of Twilight at hand.
I have 3.
That's wonderful. Okay.
What's your quotes, Amanda?
Let's see. You can do this. I'm here for you, mate. Oh my god, do not call me mate. Buddy, pal, bro, Charlie. I like the mate. I like the mate conversation because it reminds me. Mate. What you doing, mate? Mate.
Oh, mate.
Let's see, what else? I like your smell, too. You're making it weird. And finally, I will accept some snacks.
Snacks. They
Both
are-
accurate and a quote.
Yes.
Yes.
I have my snacks ready.
Oh. All right. If you liked this, try this.
I
Okay.
will go first.
Okay.
If I want to. Right, okay, I've been saying, wait till recommendations. Because I'm not going to recommend anything that is a YA romance. Because Amanda has, quote unquote, suffered enough.
Look, it's not suffering. The books are precious. It's just not my thing. And that's okay.
Okay, it's just fine. So now I'm going to recommend something that is more Amanda's thing. In fact, it's something I actually sent her the other day. So she's already aware of this. It's on our radar and I very much
Yes.
want to read it. It's a new book. It's called May Fly by C.J. Lead. It's not published until June this year, but I saw somebody on Twitter recommend it. I think it was Josh Winning. And, you know, if they're going to say yes to this book, then I'm going to say yes to this book. So this summary is from Goodreads. By day, Maeve Fly works at the happiest place in the world as every child's favourite ice princess. By the neon lighted glow of the Sunset Strip, Maeve haunts the dive bars with a drink in one hand and a book in the other, imitating her misanthropic literary heroes. But when Gideon Green, her best friend's brother, moves to town, he awakens something dangerous within her, and the world she knows suddenly shifts beneath her feet. Untethered, Maeve ditches her discontented act and tries on a new persona, a bolder, bloodier one, inspired by the pages of American Psycho. Step aside, Patrick Bateman. It's Maeve's turn.
Oh,
of the
it sounds
night.
amazing.
Disney princess meets
Love
serial
it.
killer.
Yes.
The end.
Yes.
So there we go. Completely nothing to do with Britishness or fish and chips. Shots of vinegar, being lost in translation. There may be some Dragon's Ball Z. I can't guarantee that there is or isn't, but there's definitely going to be gore.
And there is something that you two both like. I can only assume we're talking a Disney princess here. Disney parks. And you guys both love those.
I love a Disney park.
Yeah.
I also love serial
Right,
killers, so
yeah.
you know.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Go with.
It's perfect.
Okay, passing the baton
Okay.
again.
Drew, do you have anything to recommend this time?
I do. I'm going the opposite direction. Well, kind of the opposite direction. It is another one of the Alice Oseman books because it's really good. With Radio Silence, it was really good. It's set in the same universe as Heartstopper, but it's not really a love story at all. I got the summary from Goodreads. So Frances has been a study machine with one goal. Nothing will stand in her way. Not friends, not a guilty secret, not even the person she is on the inside. Then Frances meets Aled, and for the first time, she's unafraid to be herself. So when the fragile trust between them is broken, Frances is caught between who she was and who she longs to be. Now Frances knows that she has to confront her past to confess why Gareth disappeared. Frances is going to need every bit of courage she has engaging with the themes of identity, diversity, and the freedom to choose. Radio Silence is a tour de force by the most exciting writer of her generation.
Ooh.
It's very good. Very, yeah. I think it doesn't really mention much about the Heartstopper people. Like, there's bits and, like, they're there, but it's very much about Francis and Aled and their friendship and the mystery of Karis. It's very good.
All right.
Nice. I've got that one. I haven't read it yet, though.
I haven't actually finished it yet, but I still recommend it.
All right.
Amanda,
Mine
what's yours?
is called Be Dazzled by Ryan LaSala, and I got my summary from BuzzFeed. Cosplayer extraordinaire Rafi has just broken up with his bisexual soccer player boyfriend who wasn't ready to come out of the closet. Now he and Luca are going toe-to-toe for the top prize at a GeekCon cosplay competition. Like Nick, Luca takes his sweet time figuring out his queerness and fretting over how his family and friends will handle him coming out.
Ooh.
Oh.
Cosplay, you won me over. That's all I need.
Happy from the first sentence. I'll have to look this up.
Do we have a spotlight?
Yes. Okay, so I kind of have two this time, a little bit. We just got an email from the marketing person for this series, and the book is called Cursed Crowns, and it's by Catherine Weber and Kat Doyle, and it's coming out in April. And the tagline we were sent was that it is perfect for fans of Alice Oseman, Sarah J. Maas, and Stephanie Garber.
Wow.
So this, however, is the second book in the duology, and you all know how much we love a duology. So let me tell you a little bit about the first one, Twin Crowns, that came out last year. It says it's a high-stakes fantasy rom-com about twin princesses separated at birth. One raised as the crown princess and the other taken as an infant and raised to kidnap her sister, steal the crown, and avenge their parents' murders. That's book one. Now for this one, twin queens Ren and Rose have claimed their crowns, but not everyone is happy about witches sitting on Ianna's throne. Cool-headed Rose sets off on a royal tour to win over the doubters, but soon finds herself drawn to the Sunless Kingdom. Here, secrets are revealed about those closest to her, and Rose finds her loyalties divided. Meanwhile, rebellious Ren steals away to the icy north to rescue their beloved grandmother, Banba. But when she accepts King Alaric's deadly magical bargain in exchange for Banba's freedom, the spell has unexpected and far-reaching consequences. As an ancient curse begins to arise from the darkness, the sisters must come together and unite the crown. Their lives and the future of Ianna depend on it. Break the ice to free the curse. Kill one twin to save another.
Ooh.
Sounds pretty fun.
I'm
I
adding,
like the sound of
I'm adding this to my
those.
basket as we
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
I like a duology
Yes.
as well. I think we're going to have this one on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's very exciting. Both of them sound super great. The first one came out last year.
Golf
Yes.
clap for the recommendations because they were
Yes,
absolutely
I love it.
spot
So
on.
I'm excited. And if it says fans of Alice Oseman, you know, there's got to be some heartfelt things that happen as well. But I feel like it'll be a good story, and I want to read it. I'm glad we got those.
I'm excited at the idea of a duology as well because, I mean, behind the scenes we talk about books all the time, and so many just long series, and it's a big commitment that, you know, one book is fine, but if we're going to not tie it off with two.
Yeah, love a good duology.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm excited by that.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss Garlic and the Vampire by Bree Paulson. Look, okay, this month, March's theme is all about graphic novels. Let's get graphic. So we have to discuss a graphic novel that has a vampire in, because it wouldn't be Fictional Hangover if we didn't discuss a graphic novel with vampires. So that's what we've got.
I think we've both at one point as well recommended Garlic
Yeah,
and
I'm
the
pretty
Vampire.
sure. I'm pretty sure we have. So, look out for our Would You Rather polls on social media. Don't forget about our book club and monthly challenges on Facebook. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover so you can join us in episodes like Drew. Until next time, remember,
Yes.
the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com, follow us on Instagram at fictionalhangover, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fictionalhangover, and on Twitter at fictionalhangover, no ER. If you like this episode, check out our others, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss out. And finally, special thanks to Liz Emerson for her music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. Thanks for listening.